A warm welcome to all for this third episode of Parents, the First Role Models. I'm Naganand, your host. I'm a student and a parent coach and also a teen career guide. Today on the show, we have Pushpa Gudipudi.
Pushpa is former principal of Samhita Academy, Bangalore.
She recently retired after an illustrious career spanning close to 3 decades. And now she has donned the hat of an academic advisor and a life coach. Pushpa and myself did our coach certification together, and I came across Pushpa to be a very gentle, soft spoken, highly intellectual, and driven person. She's a wonderful human being, a great leader, and a complete people person. Welcome, Pushpa. Really pleased to have you on the show today.
Thank you. Thank you, Naganand. Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction.
I would,
I'm really happy to be here.
I'm really glad that you have accepted my invitation to be on the show. Now I'll just leave it to you so that you can give a brief introduction about yourself to our viewers, and then we can carry it after that.
Actually, you said it all. I don't think there is anything that I can add. Yes, I have been an educator for almost 3 decades, and I worked with children from different backgrounds, different geographical and socio-economical backgrounds, and also children with special needs. Interacted with many parents, who have helped me to grow in my role definitely and helped us help the children. So yes, so I had a wonderful journey as educator, and I'm still continuing to have that. And of course, a life coach is something that is very close to me, because I think one get to do a meaningful work with the people that we are engaged with. So it's I'm very passionate about being a coach.
I'm glad to hear that. I'm sure you would be a wonderful coach to a lot of people, and also a great academic advisor with having so much of experience in the academia. So I would invite you to the next round where we will ask a few questions regarding the parenting aspect of this discussion. So, uh, what are the top three things that comes to your mind upon listening the word parenting?
So the first thing definitely is joy and happiness, because I think even as an educator we consider ourselves as the second parents. So the first thing as parent experiences is joy and happiness, and having that opportunity to be able to take care of life. And I think that is so precious. So I think that's the first thing. Second thing that comes to me is responsibility. I think now you are also born as a parent,
Yes.
when the child is born. And I think when one has a second child, then the parent is born again. It's not that you're already a parent, because every child needs a different side of you. So you're growing again. So responsibility, and there are many adjustments and many sacrifices, and trying to figure out what exactly do I have to do as a parent. So that comes next. The third thing I think is letting go of our own ego, letting go of our own ambitions, our expectations, and our aspirations, because this is all about the child. It's not about me as a parent. So that is very important, I feel, because as a parent, the role is to nurture and help the child to grow, and afterwards it's his or her own life. Knowing that is very difficult, and I think that's the third thing that I would say.
Wow, those are wonderful thoughts, Pushpa. And this show is all about parents being the role models. So, what's your thought on that?
This actually, when we say role model, uh, I would want to bring a different perspective to this. Is you don't have to become a model, but you just now become what you are, know yourself and be authentic, because here you are actually passing on your qualities to the child, the characteristics that the child is imbibing from you. So he or she is observing how you act or react to certain situations, to people. So I think being conscious of what you are, I think that's very important to become a role model.
Absolutely, absolutely. You put it all in a very beautiful and the crisp way. It's not like role model doesn't mean that we have to imbibe someone else's character. We just have to be ourselves so that the
Mm.
child understands how to be themselves with us or with the whole world. Beautifully put, Pushpa. Thank you very much for that. So I will just move on to the next question. Uh, Being an educator, an administrator, and what are some of the things you wish that parents would do today?
Yeah, that I think you ask an educator, I think you will get a list. But I think what comes to what's more important is spending quality time with the child.
Mm.
I feel that the child needs that first. Knowing the child, what the child is going through, and what are I mean, as an educator, since it's coming from that perspective, I would say that what is the child doing? What is he learning? What is he achieving? And getting to know him, listen to him, spend time with him. What I normally observe is, when children are very young, I see parents being very enthusiastic. They're all over. They're there in the school most of the time. And as the children grow and they come to, high school, you hardly see parents. So it doesn't end, as soon as the child moves from KG to primary school. The intervention, the association with parent is equally important with the child, and that should be continuing. And it is basically to be with the child, uh, not just physically, but emotionally and mentally, to know what the child is going through, to know what the ups and downs of the child. What is his first crush and who is bullying him or her, who are their friends, and why are they upset, why are they behaving in a different way today. You get to know only when you know them. Otherwise you just don't get to know what they're going through.
Absolutely. I mean, that's a very well said point there. That's basically the involvement of parents with the child. So, in this aspect, how important is listening and understanding comes into fore?
A simple example is, I typically see parents uh, coming back and telling us that, he talks a lot and he doesn't do his work. And that's the natural thing that happens. Parents sits with the child and ask that, okay, let's do the work, and child is talking about what happened in the class and what did somebody has done. And we tend to push them away from there, saying that this is more important. What you have to write is more important than that.
Focus, focus.
Yeah, so probably telling them that, okay, let's listen to it later, or okay, let's talk about it first 5 minutes and then we will do it. So that kind of giving time to listen to the child, because if we are not there when they want to talk to us, and later on they are not with us when we really want to know them, and
Yeah, that's a very right point.
yeah, so I think that's really important.
Yes, there is a saying there, right? If you don't listen to your child when they are young, when they are small, and when they become big, they may not discuss the big things which are happening in their life.
Mm.
Right?
Yes,
So
yes.
that's
Yeah.
rightly said. And is there anything that, as an educator or as an administrator, you suggest to parent in those situations?
See, I think another thing that comes to my mind is setting these boundaries. Like what are the things that are negotiable, what are non-negotiable? What's the time for what is study time, what is play time, what is sleeping time? And whole family eating together, and when they're studying, you being there with them. uh, Typically, I know there is lot of pressure on us, as parents, that you have to attend to something else. So guests come, you push the children to another room saying that okay, you sit there, you watch TV, and
Yeah.
and that becomes definitely a habit. And then I hear parents coming back and saying that the child, in adulthood, they just lock the door, and they don't allow the parent to get inside, and they don't know what's happening behind the doors. So where is this habit forming from?
Yeah.
So it's from the beginning, the kind of environment that we create, the open environment, being together, spending time together, doing everything together, and being there when they're studying, being around when they're studying. Typically what we say is, especially middle school and high school, when child is studying, we say that you don't have to teach the child.
Yeah.
He is taught in the school. I mean, we don't want you to reteach or anything. Just be around to see whether is he really doing what he's supposed to be doing. Is he, where is he moving? And engage with him on, what is he planning, how does he want to do his studies, what's his plan, what's his timetable, what's his schedule. So what happens is when the child comes to 10th and 12th, suddenly parents wake up, and then that's when they say that that their child is not doing anything, what do we do now? So I think these habits will have to be formed from the beginning, and come what may, even if the board exams, playtime is playtime. It doesn't have to be the 24-hour study. So typically you see that that pressure is palpable. You can actually feel it in the house that children are in board exam. No need. I think it's learning is more important than the exams or anything, and it has to come as a joy and as a routine.
Yeah.
It's an ongoing thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Wonderful. I mean, those are wonderful thoughts there, Pushpa. I'm really glad that. Now, you mentioned about parents' interventions in their studies and in their schooling and everything. So, how can a better involvement from parents benefit the children?
See, one is, as I said, being with the child when the child is studying, and spending those non-purposive time with the child, knowing what the child is going through. And another thing is expose the child to your life, what's happening in your life. Tell your stories. I mean, we have become something in life through our own struggles and through whatever. So, can we share who inspired us, what made us what we are? And these are the stories that would have so much of value to the child to, to learn, not just telling them what they should be doing, but telling them that what worked for you and what do you think has worked for someone else that you have known. And also exposing them to different, the culture,
Yeah.
art forms, the literature, and sitting and then watching sports with them and playing with them, and doing small things, with the child, enjoying the time we spend with the child. So typically, you see when you go to a restaurant, you see that when we see a family coming, you see that everybody is busy with their own mobiles. You don't see the family talking together and spending those light moments. So that is very important, so that the child is learning from you. During the time that the child is spent.
Correct.
Another thing is there is already a lot of pressure on the child. which comes from the school. So we teach them, we train them, we tell them, we have our own expectations from the child. But the parent can give the balanced environment where the child can be absolutely be himself, not have another set of expectations from the parent that that I have to prove something to my parent. And this happens, this happens that the child wants to really prove himself. He wants to make the parents proud. And is it required? Does he have to do anything to make us proud? We are proud of them as they are. So that is something that if the child is aware, in our interactions, so I think that would be beautiful.
That's a very great point. The kid is already having enough on his plate, and parents supporting it should be the one, as you said, the balanced approach of helping the child navigate through all these challenges which they're already facing in the school, not just putting some more pressure on them by putting your expectations on top of them. That's beautiful point there, Pushpa. That's it's actually very much required in today's world, where I mean, you also mentioned about the child locking up in the room, trying to be in their own space. Even sometimes parents need to understand that the teen is going through a lot, especially after when they start they move from their preteens to teens. Their whole physiology is changing. They're actually trying to find themselves out, who they are and what their interests are. So this is a very, I mean, they're already having too much on the plate. Yes, you need to give that space for the child and have a balanced approach. Beautifully pointed out there, Pushpa. And thank you for all these things. While you were just mentioning about a few things here, now there is also, I mean, still we have a little time, so I'm bringing out one more question to you. Now, parents, I mean, I have had some parents asking me, when is the right time for me to talk about career or future with my child? There has been many perspectives on this. One of my friend, who always tells me, why should you ask them about what do you want to become, like a doctor, an engineer, or what do you want to become? Why should you ask that? Instead of that, ask about what kind of a person you want to become, right? So that's also very valid. Now, I mean, being an educator and for so long, and having interacted with parents, students, so many of them, what are your thoughts on this? It would be very helpful for us.
So there are two, three ways in which it can happen. But before that, as you were sharing, I was remembering something. I had an interaction with one class with students, and I mean, the activity that we were all doing was what would they want to become, when they grow up. And this child was writing that what kind of human being that he's going to become.
Wow.
So I said, okay, how will you achieve that? He said, man, that doesn't matter. I may become a doctor or a lawyer. That's okay. But this is what I'm going to do when I become something. So I said that is so powerful, and this child already knows it, and I mean, what you the career is just a medium for you to achieve what you want to achieve in life. So I think you have actually summarized quite beautifully. But coming back to your question on when is it required, I know that as small, as young as KG, I hear parents asking, what is the child is going to become, and they would ask me, okay, when are you having these counseling sessions? When do we get to know about career counseling? So when they come for KG admissions, we hear all this.
My God.
So I know that this is coming from a pressure of
Society.
fulfilling your own responsibility. So it's coming from a good place. But uh, this is a golden period, because any profession that the child takes, there is an opening, there is
Yeah.
growth, there is success in any area that takes. So I think that parents should be knowing first. And the second thing is, letting the child be aware of different professions
Correct.
before even talking about which profession would he like to take. I think giving that kind of awareness, many schools do this. Many schools do this from middle school. Give that exposure to allowing different personalities to come to schools and then have a talk about what they are doing, what they've achieved, how did they achieve, how does it look like, so they make them do that. But I think ideally from ninth onwards is when it's good for a child to know about different careers,
Okay. Yeah.
not think that okay, I want to become a doctor, but how does a doctor function, what
Okay.
does he do, how does his routine looks like,
Yeah.
look like, and what does it take to become a doctor
Yeah.
and to be a doctor. I mean, you are all the time learning as a doctor. We normally say that you're forever
Learn. Yeah.
trying to evolve as a doctor. So getting to know all that, and then getting to know what do I want to do, what is my aptitude, what do I like,
Where do
and
I
which
fit?
area is and then take a call.
Right.
So
Well,
I
that
think it
was
should be more of exploration
correct.
first, and then probably, I have seen children who have done 12th and then diverse to something else.
Correct.
But typically, ninth and 10th, if they are aware of different professions, careers available, and the interesting thing, they are aware. You
Yeah.
just leave it to them.
Correct.
They get to know, and they tell us, that this is something that we had a child who was talking to us about bitcoins in when he was in grade 9,
Wow.
talking about what he would like to do, and who taught him? Nobody. So we
Correct.
don't have to worry, but we just have to allow them to explore.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. You're absolutely right. Children do know much beyond. I mean, more than us, and it is up to us as parents to just support them, allow them, provide enough exposure, so that they can explore, all possibilities of what they want to become. We just have to ensure that we provide them enough support, guidance in terms of handling different challenges of life, providing them the basic life skills, which we can do it at home. We don't have to go anywhere else to teach that. We can just do it at home by just us showing them the way as to how they can do the things. Absolutely brilliant there, Pushpa. It was very nice thoughts which you shared. I am really grateful of all your, this shows your experience, shows all these, your thoughts are coming from those experiences. A big thank you to you. And um, and and now I would just like to say a big thank you to all our supporters and viewers. Please like, share your thoughts in the comment section below. Do subscribe and hit the bell icon to get notified for our upcoming videos. In the coming weeks, I will also be uploading some small videos providing cool tips, hacks, and much more to all our parents. Thank you very much for watching today's episode. If you have any challenges, query regarding parenting, you can send an email to us on parenting@unique.com. That is parenting@unique.com. You will find the email address in the comments and also in the description of this video. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much,
Thank
Pushpa,
you.
for all your
Thank you,
thoughts,
Nagan. Thank
and
you.
have a great day.